This episode of Outdoor Journal Radio is brought to you in part by the Invasive Species Centre, protecting Canada's land and water from invasive species. Freedom Cruise Canada, rent the boat, own the memories. And J&B Cycle and Marine, your home for all things power sports, boats, and equipment.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. That's awfully generous of you.
Very generous.
Okay, carry on. You can do more. I didn't say you had to stop. Thank you.
Yeah, they're back. God, we can't control them. They're out of
Tomfoolery today. Our program is kind of interesting today. We're going to talk about it in a minute, but a very interesting story south of the border involving some dishonesty and tournament fishing. Can you imagine?
Tournament fishing south of the border and dishonesty.
I can't even
seems to add
imagine
up
that.
quite a
But anyway,
bit.
so we thought we'd do a podcast on it. Before we get to that, I'm Angelo Bile. He is Peter Bowman. Dean Taylor.
Come on now.
Running things as he usually does. And that are it. In the store. You see, we all...
In the store.
Look. That's enough.
What about Dean? Oh. Is Dean on camera today?
I don't know.
He's not really.
I'm very small. No one can see me.
Oh.
It's like he's not really Fishing
tiny.
Canada garbed up.
Well, somebody he
week.
didn't get the memo.
Does he get docked for this somehow?
Right.
We'll work on that.
We'll see.
Should we tell Monique?
We'll see how it goes.
Okay. All right. See his performance.
Season 40 now airing on Saturday mornings. Well, no. Saturday mornings on Global, but it actually now premieres Wednesdays, I understand.
Yeah, absolutely correct.
On WFN and Sportsman's Sportsman Channel
Canada on Wednesdays.
And then
Friday,
is
WFN. And then Saturday mornings
is Global. Okay.
And then Monday.
We do it all over again.
No.
No.
That same episode.
It airs again, repeats. We do it all over again.
It goes to YouTube.
Come on.
It goes to YouTube
as well. So don't knock our YouTube audience out, but we got a pretty good well, as a matter of fact, they're watching us right now on this dealio. So
anyways, if you need more information on that, just
ask us.
Just ask us. We'll tell you. Listener feedback. Irving, Jay Irving. That's the gasoline mogul.
The Oiving, the East Coast there, right?
Yeah, he owns everything down there. I didn't know he was a regular.
Probably a big fan of ours. You know
Jay Irving, 7167 via YouTube.
That's how much money he's got, $7,167 million.
Billion, trillion. I'd like to know the story on that. There's probably a fascinating story on Irving.
The Irving Gas Company?
The Irving family.
Yeah, there would be, for sure. They own it out there.
Dean, maybe we could do some research on that.
Maybe I'll get him on.
Mark it down and call him. I mean, he's good and nice enough to send in a...
That's right.
question or a comment, I guess it is. Fabulous episode, guys. Being a history buff and an avid fisherman, it was awesome to see the show focus on not just the actual fishing, but the history of the area, events, and people. Well done. And, of course, he's referring to a recent episode on the Fishing Canada show. It's 40th season, by the way. Anybody wasn't aware of that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
A recent episode that we produced on the East Coast fishery, in particular tuna fishing off of Wedgeport, Nova Scotia.
Tuna tournament capital or something like that, isn't it, Dean? Like I said,
globally, it was at one point the tuna capital. Now, are you making that up, or was that true?
That is true. I was at the museum where they told me that.
Okay,
and the best part is that the town is so small and Deadsville any other time of year, basically, and that tournament just brings it to life.
It was
a
awesome.
Huge event, and it's great. The footage that Dean and Steve collected there was.
And although we tried to capture it on the episode, you really can't capture the essence of an East Coast community that comes together for an annual event. You just. If you could bottle that feeling and sell it, you'd make a fortune, right?
I'd live in that bottle.
Honest to God, there's just nothing like it.
Yeah, you got to visit the East Coast to know what Ange is talking about. Because if you go to Canada's East Coast, and it doesn't matter where you go, it just as long as you get past that sort of Well, you go past
Yes.
through Quebec.
Yes, past what?
Yeah, past Quebec.
Okay.
And into the
What are you
Nova
saying?
Scotia, New Brunswick.
What are you saying?
I'm saying that the Nova Scotians, New Brunswickers, Labrador, Newfoundlanders, PEIers,
Cape Codders.
Cape Breton Island,
Cape Breton.
not Cape Codders,
Cape Breton Islanders.
Cape Breton Islanders, and if I forgot anybody, I apologize, are the best people in the world. The world. At least the best people I've ever met. And I've met people from all over the world. I've never been all over the world, but I've met a lot of people.
I think I would even add another word to that, because there's a lot of nice people all over the place, and we've
Including
been
Quebec.
fortunate enough-
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
They're the funniest bastards going. Between them and the Newfies, they're the
I
best.
think the word that can be used is consistent. To me, the East Coaster is consistent,
Oh, yeah.
right? Very consistent. They just know how to do life one way.
Yep.
There's no multiple choice. There's no nothing. It's consistently friendly, open, honest, and every time that you're involved in activities down there, you come home with this feeling of, man, I sure wish I could experience that every day.
Yeah.
Right.
That's why a lot of Ontarians will say
going.
are moving over, moving to the East Coast to try and live that lifestyle and have that around them. So I can't blame them at all.
I wonder how that works out. I wonder if they eventually transform into that.
Well, we know Peter
Persona.
Turner. How do you think?
Well,
Do you think Petey turned into a
No,
nice guy? No,
I don't think
probably
so.
not. Sorry, Petey.
But anyways, we did a great episode. It was a little bit of a departure for us in that fishing was not the focus of the episode, because we were trying to, get the essence of what that experience could be. The team went in a slightly different direction, and a little bit risky because we are the Fish in Canada show. But the response has been fantastic, and I think more importantly than that, from our standpoint, I think probably one of the best things that we've ever done.
It shows a production value that we can feel proud of, pat ourselves in the back, from start to finish, from Dean and Steve being out there and Vova filming it to bringing it back here, and all of us getting involved in the post-production part of it, right? So is that and another thing that I'm very happy with lately is the input that YouTube viewers are giving us.
Yes.
Because another thing I learned, and Dean's probably seen this too, a couple of comments that have come in, and contrary to what we look at when we're going out fishing, when we go out on a Fish in Canada show, Dean, Pete, and Nance are going to go out and do that. We're looking for the biggest, baddest, best fish we could all possibly get. And then we're starting to hear these comments now that are coming in. It's I'd like to see the smaller fish that you guys don't show and all that stuff. It's like very interesting to me that they're asking that. You know what I mean? Because I
find it fascinating.
Yeah.
I find it fascinating.
Because it's true. We don't get this walleye this big unless it's a show coming up. We'll have a couple of 9-inchers in it for a reason. But other than that, we don't show that stuff. And it is a reality of fishing too, right? So.
I mentioned a few weeks ago that a YouTube product that I watch now and then is this guy who plays pinball or not pinball.
Matt, there, your buddy Matt.
No,
huh?
this is NG. He plays
slot machines.
Slot machines. Thank you. And he got a comment, a live comment. The lady was there with him, suggesting to him that maybe he shouldn't just be doing the big high end spins.
Make it like a $5 bet or a $2 bet.
A lot of people out there, and she said most of us, we would enjoy just your regular low end spins.
Right.
Small fish versus big fish.
Right.
Right. So sometimes
is there ever an outcome on that? Did Matt say?
Well, he didn't like it.
Now again, you see the majority of his viewers are there because holy shit, he just lost $100,000 or he just won $1 million. You know what I mean?
And this guy's got over 1 million subscribers.
Right.
He's pushing 2 million.
Right. But every now and then, it may not be a bad idea for him, as the same with us. Every now and then, what, guys, and girls, we'll show you.
The only caveat.
We'd be out of there in 2 hours. We'd do a Cronzy then.
Oh, we do. Oh, don't say that. He didn't mean that, Daryl.
Sorry, Daryl.
The only thing is, though, because I'm trying to envision a world where the Fish in Canada show just does that. a couple of small fish. Thank you very much, and off we go.
I don't know if they're asking for that.
The only thing I will tell you is that we have made a career. We have spent 4 decades doing the opposite.
Yep.
Right? I can tell you from the very first day to today, every time out, we strive to get big fish on tape so that we can package it, produce it, and show it to you.
Yep.
40 years
I
of it.
agree. Agreed.
How many of us are left doing this? How many TV shows are airing product nowadays?
A few out there,
A
right?
handful.
A small handful.
So I would like to think that we are doing the right thing.
Yeah.
I would like to think that by working extra hard, meaning spending extra days in the field, meaning throwing more money at production, meaning all of the above, I think is one of the reasons why we are here today talking on this set.
Yep. Yeah, I agree.
Right?
I'm just saying, this is just input that they're all starting to give us, that we're starting to hear. This type of show like this, it's not about catching the big fish. It's about a production. And
But
it's nice to hear.
but this one had a tremendous production value.
Yep.
And when we say we didn't, on this episode, we didn't catch a big fish, doesn't mean that there weren't big fish depicted.
Right. But on our show, the worse we do on fishing, the better we do on production. You have to admit, we do a good job on our production of it. We're saying, okay, we need a little more. We need to embellish this. We need to show that.
Spruce that baby up a bit. Put some
lipstick on the pig.
Anyways, I don't know where we're going with that. I have no idea, but
keep the input happening. That's what I'm saying here. Is I love the thought. We love the thought of you telling us what you like, what you don't like, what's good, bad, and ugly, and the whole 9 yards. So, thank you. This episode is brought to you by Angler's Leaderboard and its photo measure feature. Angler's Leaderboard makes every catch count by integrating seamlessly with their patent-pending AI-enabled fish measurement board. Now you can automatically measure catch length and detect species in seconds just by using your smartphone camera. It's fast, accurate, and reduces handling. So now you can release healthier fish and keep fishing for the big ones. Learn more at anglersleaderboard.com.
Dean, did you say that the conservation corner was moved to the question of the
I
week?
think we should move it to the back, because,
done.
yeah.
Oh my, okay.
So,
You guys are throwing a really wrench into this
well,
thing.
I
like
got to
it.
go
No,
by
it's
what I'm
good.
told, right?
Yeah,
Everybody has
Dean
their
is
job.
starting to get some seniority around here, right? So
I guess he is. He straightened me out
running the show
a couple days ago.
Did he?
Oh,
Shit!
a little bit of a tightening.
I didn't hear about this. Can you share it
tightening.
with all the class, or is this a very private matter?
Very private matter.
Okay. All right, Mr.
In the
Avila.
news, this is what we were talking about. The genesis of this very episode, actually. This was not a scheduled episode.
What does Genesis mean? Excuse my ignorance.
Genesis is the beginning, the very beginning of something.
Okay, thank you.
This is the genesis.
Yeah, I got you now. Now I know.
And so we thought we would, rather than although we are going to, I believe, in the future, bring in some guests that are involved in this somehow onto the show so we could talk intelligently, because from this moment forward, we're not going to really talk intelligently on the subject. We're going to, it will be very much opinions and beliefs of what actually took place. So I want to throw that disclaimer out there. Although we're going to, it is the news story, but we are, no, I'm sorry. That's coming up. I was going the other way.
Are you going to go this way?
Keep that in mind, what I just said.
Yeah.
Thanks, Dean.
Yeah. I was confused.
I
didn't know what to do on the screen behind you.
Should have put a big question mark up there, Dino.
I need another tightening.
Dean gave me shit so bad the other day.
Maybe we should do it like on a weekly basis. Schedule it. Put it on
That'd be nice.
Put it on your new. What was that? An indelible board.
A whiteboard.
Yeah. Like I was saying, in the news, brought to you by JMB Cycle and Marine, Canada's largest Princecraft Mercury dealer until further notice. If you want a boat package, if you want, and it's unfair. It's unfair when we talk about JMB Cycle too, although they are Canada's largest boat package dealer, I understand. Certainly when it comes to Princecraft and Mercury.
So you were told this, right? I think you were told that. That's
Well,
that.
I'm just reading what's here, buddy. I can only go. I'm assuming that everything that is in this little docket every week that we do this.
I believe this is correct.
Okay.
This one is correct. Yes.
Right. But it's unfair to look at them just as a marina of a dealer because
Cycle and marine, you got to know there's more than just a marine there.
well, but there's like
They're not a marina.
no, but a lot of people in the business. There's a lot of marinas that are not. See, to me, a marina should be on a shoreline.
That's what the definition
Adjacent
of a marina
to
is.
water.
That is the definition of marina.
But there's a lot of them that are not. And how do they
That are
get
not
classified?
on the water?
That's correct.
That's why they're called marine.
Marine.
They're called a marine because they're not on the
Marine.
water. Cycle and marine. They didn't call them cycle and marina. Cycle and marine. On the water is marina.
Marine means marine. It means that I'm involved in products that have to do with water. Marine is water,
I asked him about
basically.
Genesis, and he gave me an explanation, and I accepted it, no problem. Now I'm telling him the difference. Yeah, thank you, Mr. Seinfeld. Or Mr. Costanza. That's what it was.
Yes.
Was Frank.
Mr.
No,
Yeah.
I just want to make a
Love
point.
Frank and Estelle Costanza.
Just want to make a point. That's all. But regardless, doesn't really matter. I was just saying it's an injustice because, as we know, J&B is so much more than just boats and motors.
You got that right.
Like it's like everything.
Like right now in the wintertime, which we are
Oh
doing this
my
podcast
God.
right now, that's probably the least they're doing is boats and motors. They're getting prepped for it, but the snowmobile season must have been nuts for them this year. God love
For
them
everybody.
for that. Yeah.
My neighbor, Lou, oh my God, he's...
Lou's a ski-doo boy, is he? He
oh
goes
my
getting
God,
out?
I think he's been gone for a month. The snow, because I
Atta boy,
always
Lou.
know
I love it.
when he's around because his snowmobile trailer and the snowmobiles are there.
Yeah.
They're gone, and he
kidding,
hasn't
eh?
used them for years now.
Yeah. Taking
Gone,
advantage
disappeared.
of everything. Yeah.
Disappeared.
Good
so.
for him. Good for him.
Anyways, this story is brought to you by J&B Cycle and Marine, which could be a marina, it could not, but implies that they sell products that are used in water. Justifying your fishing habit is the title of the story. The price of freshwater fish continues to rise. And this is an interesting little tidbit because I just happened to be shopping for freshwater fish last week.
So these are the prices as grocery prices, right? This is not
Yes.
taking your boat, motor, and trailer, going
No.
out there and doing all that. Kind of
No,
stuff. So this is
no.
at the store price.
This is at the store.
I thought it's interesting though because this is actually an exclusive story. No one is reporting on this except for us because our main segment of the show is very news heavy. I had to scrounge for a story and I couldn't find one, so I made this one up.
You made this up, so this is not true.
No, this is factual information, but no one else is reporting on this. This is exclusive just for
so
us.
they're going to be the other news agencies are going to be
Ripping us
contacting
off.
us.
Yeah.
You're gonna rip us off.
Because
Well,
I think that the reason I called it justifying your fishing habit is I think it might be more affordable to go catch these now, which has never been the
Finally.
case before. That's never been even close to the case.
Although I don't know about that. I did an article way back on fishingcanada.com. It's probably still there somewhere. And I don't know what prompted me, but at the time, I spent considerable amount of money, this company's money, doing research. I don't mind telling you that. And it was to come up with the value of bass.
Okay.
Right?
I
Ashigan.
remember that one.
Ashigan, the Glambouche.
And
Petit
when it was
bouche.
all said and done, and this goes back several years ago, so prices obviously have changed drastically since then, but when it was all said and done, in Canada, over that previous 5-year period, all things being taken into account, and if the bass anglers were actually going to consume the fillets from the bass, all things taken into account, each £1.25 fillet was worth something like $30,000 or some ridiculous price because of the investment that bass anglers make into
Yeah.
catching bass.
Yeah.
So this is not a huge surprise to me because I do regularly shop for this stuff and other fish, saltwater as well. So yeah, the prices have been going through the roof. But according to this article, which apparently this is a first time, this is, what would you call that?
Exclusive.
Exclusive.
Yep.
So you heard it here first. To buy, which I don't even know if I've ever seen this one, bluegill. I think I have.
Yeah.
I had to go on one of like the wholesaler websites, like where they sell to like someone like Antonio, like a catering company or something.
Did you go to Diana's Seafood?
That might have been it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got everything.
Yeah.
Just to let everybody know before Jens gets into this, if you have never eaten bluegill, they are so friggin' good.
And how about rock bass?
Good. Rock bass are good too, but I like bluegill better because they're like a perch in the firmness of the fillet.
Yeah.
But
so currently in this part of the world, if you want to consume that wonderful meal of bluegill, like the Bowmans do on a regular basis, you're going to pay $39.95 US per pound.
yeah, I'm going fishing for them. I am not going to pay that at the grocery store. I'm going to get my boat gassed up and go. That's it.
Per pound. So here's what's interesting about, before we get on to the walleye, northern pike, et cetera, here's what's very interesting about that. I remember a few years ago, way pre-pandemic, there was a big uproar over some new legislation that was being proposed. New regulations to the Fisheries Act were being proposed in the Kawarthas, and in particular on Rice Lake, because it was to do with panfish, bluegill and sunfish, perch obviously, but all of the panfish family. Apparently, up until this time, there was no limit as to the number that you could have in your possession at any given time. And most of us thought, well, what's the big deal? Like who really, I mean, aside from catching a few and bringing them home and having a pan fry, maybe. Yeah. You know what I mean? Other than that, like, what's the big deal? Well, I found out back then what the big deal was, and that is our U.S. Anglers were making a business out of it. So they would come up to places like Rice Lake, and it was almost like a commercial operation.
No kidding.
They would come up for 10 or 12 days.
I thought they ate those.
No.
Wow.
And they had no limits. And they would take literally
coolers full,
thousands of them.
Oh, absolutely.
On every trip. Well,
yeah.
There you go. $39.95 US.
That equals, by the way, $54.71 Canadian right now as we speak at this podcast. Almost $55 a pound.
Wow. That puts it up there way beyond Chilean sea bass.
Yeah.
Wow. Anyways, I just thought, now they since changed those regs, and in fact there are limits as to the number of panfish. I think 50 a day in most jurisdictions, which is a lot anyways when you think about it.
Sure
but 50 a day is not big enough to turn it into an enterprise.
Right.
It's still...
And that is your possession too.
Yes.
So they can only bring 50 back over the border.
That's correct.
At the end of the whole day,
That's
the whole
correct.
week. If you ate 50 a day, good for you. You're a good eater, but you can only bring
So it's not
50
big
back.
enough, even though I think it's a big number.
It is,
Like, who should be taking 50 of anything? Let's be honest about it. But it's not big enough for the enterprise part of that.
Exactly.
Right? So they've curbed that altogether. Maybe that's driven the prices up.
Yeah,
I don't know.
That could be. That'd be a good reason why, right?
Now, the next one on the list, walleye, almost seems okay-ish. Am I wrong in that? At $23.30 US per pound.
I remember not long ago it was like 14 and 15 a pound Canadian. Yeah. So a while ago. So obviously Art Carney isn't keeping his promise of grocery prices not going up. Wow.
I think these are mostly, I guess the walleye wouldn't be, but I know the bluegill, they're coming from China. So I have a feeling that those tariffs are why those prices are high.
Which would explain it,
sense, eh?
since they're not coming out of Canada. their costs of doing business, quadrupled.
And unfortunately, those are probably farmed bluegill
Yeah, of
too.
course.
Which I mean, I was talking about when I say that's the most outstanding fish you'll eat. That's wild Canadian bluegill. I'm not talking about farmed Chinese bluegill because I think there'd be a difference there.
Huge!
There'd be a difference. So
huge difference. So walleye come in at $23.30 US per pound. That's not a huge.
It's up there. But
it's up there, and it is expensive considering.
Yeah.
Now, by the way, Dean, why are these all listed in USD?
A lot of them from the websites I was using, which were mostly like those wholesaler ones.
Yeah.
They were listing everything in USD, so they're
Okay.
coming over the border, except for Northern Pike. None of the US places were selling Northern
oh
Pike.
yeah, you got that as Canadian. Okay,
Yeah.
That's
I didn't notice
interesting
that.
because at number 3 on the list, Northern Pike is $17.50 Canadian.
There's your deal right there, people. That's the sale of the century.
And would you argue
Right
with
there.
me that pound for pound, all things taken into consideration here on this list, if you put the price of acquisition into play here, I would think the Northern Pike is probably the best
Without a
of the
doubt.
three.
Especially
Without a
because
doubt.
you
Without
don't
a
have to clean it. Like that's the whole downside of pike. So if the bones are out, I mean, that's the
If
fish
you're
you
buying
should
a
buy for
boneless
sure.
pike fillet, that is the sale of the century right
Yeah.
there, folks, and without a question. Because honestly, the difference between pike and walleye is very negligible. Some people might be able to tell. I usually can't tell. Yeah, maybe between bluegill, perch, and northern pike, there might be a difference. But for $40 US a pound versus $17.50 Canadian a pound, I'd suck it up and say pike all the way.
Oh, for
I would
sure.
not even think twice about it.
Now, having said that, has anybody seen pike on the market for sale anywhere?
I've never seen it.
I've never either.
Actually, at a chip truck, I think Nibblers had it.
Nibblers.
Oh
They
yeah,
had-
well
we bought that
they
like
were
that.
supposed to be selling as walleye, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Well, they did have pike on their menu as well at one time, but
I don't know what we ate that last time we went there, but that
that
wasn't any of the above.
we barely
No, it
nibbled
was like
at it before we didn't.
10-pound perch or whatever it was.
That was yeah, that's right. I don't think I was on that
That
trip.
wasn't
You guys,
Nibblers.
Oh,
it was
I
a different
I think that was the
but
one you guys went on wasn't it, last trip.
It was the new
It was on the other side of the highway.
on the other
though.
side of the highway.
Oh, compared to our normal?
Yeah.
Yeah, because that one's gone. It's kind of shut down.
Yeah.
But on the other side of the highway is this new
They
deal.
had giant perch fillets, did they?
Huge.
Oh, you hear the story? When I saw perch on the menu, I thought, oh yeah,
That's it.
perch,
We
man,
are
that's
in.
it. We are getting her down, done. Yeah. And so we all ordered perch, and these great big fillets came. They were like the size of I don't know.
Ocean perch. Maybe they were ocean perch because they wouldn't be lying if it was ocean perch.
But I questioned the vendor at the time without even seeing the fillets. I said, now, we are getting perch, right? Well, if I order the perch, like it's real perch, oh, yeah. I clean it myself. Oh, okay. So these are like locally, oh, yeah. Okay. Well, you got to believe the guy. He's telling
guys
you
got
that.
perched.
I forked in my $30 a hit, And then we went and sat down.
And he's
waited.
not kidding about that either. Those places
Oh, yeah.
are not cheap
Oh, yeah.
when you stop by the road. Stop
And
to
so-
get the perch.
Finally, he called us over. Our stuff was ready and brought it. And I'm not kidding you. Like the fillets were like the size of a big panzerotti.
Yeah.
Hey, Dean?
Yeah, they were.
Like
They
a
were
large
massive.
panzerotti, not those little ones.
Yeah.
I'm talking one of these.
That's ocean perch. That's what he's selling you. Have you ever seen those in the store? My mom used to buy ocean perch fillets, and they were big.
So?
They're big. So that's what he's giving you. If it was perch, if he's being not a liar.
I took it back to the table and had just a little, oh, God, it was awful. So I went back up there.
Oh God.
And I said, okay, you said to me that you clean this? Yeah. And do you know what a perch is? Yeah, that's perch. And you clean this yourself. This fillet came at your hands. Yeah. I knew right there. This was a.
That's a bunch of bullshit.
Give us a bunch of bullshit.
bullshit.
Exactly. I was disgusted with them. Cost me like $110 for everybody's perch.
Yeah.
And God only know. I don't know what it is that we're eating, but it was disgusting.
Wow.
It was awful.
By the way, I'll give you a side note. That's a negative. If it's still the same, If you're driving by Lancaster, Ontario, there's a little restaurant to the north of the 401, just to the north of the 401, where you can buy perch rolls or just straight perch and chips or whatever. And it is, I believe it is St. Lawrence River Lancaster perch that comes out of there, and they do it, and it's delicious. So we're not trying to kill the industry here.
And the whole thing is kind of interesting with that too, is that our good friend Ryan Flero, when he was much younger, he used to be one of the suppliers
the perch
because the owner of the establishment would get the young kids in the community to go out and catch perch, and he'd pay them for it. Mm-hmm. So these kids, after school, they'd go out and roll their boat out to the St. Lawrence and catch a bunch of perch and clean. They had to be cleaned.
Yeah.
The stipulation was that they had to be cleaned. And so that's why Flero is such a good, fast.
He does it like less than a minute, like seconds. He's done a perch.
And so he actually, helps the local community, the kids, make some extra dough as well. So you're not only are you enjoying a tremendous culinary experience. It's the only way I can describe their perch roll is just
it's so good.
Beyond words.
So good.
But you're also helping the local youth
now, is that still going on now? Because it might not be legal anymore.
I don't know.
Commercial fishery and all that kind of stuff now. But back in the day, that's 30 years, 40 years ago.
Yeah, but I don't see why it wouldn't. You can't harvest and sell freshwater game fish without being licensed or a permit. However, I think in a community like that, there might be some wiggle room. I don't know.
There should be. There'd be a nice little gig for a kid.
Great.
Fresh perch.
After school, you and the buddies go out and catch some perch and make yourself a few bucks. And
see, the problem is now it won't be just kids. It'll be adults. Let's get in on this action too.
But the owner wasn't buying from adults.
No, I know, but
kids had to be
the way
involved, right?
The world works, the way criminals work.
Anyways, I just thought that was...
Yeah.
Anything else in that story, Dean, that we haven't...
Perch was $27.95 Canadian a pound.
Yep.
And whitefish is $20 US per pound. Whitefish, you have to
I see that in the store all the time. It does not look appetizing at all.
It's not bad. It's great smoked. Whitefish is fantastic smoked.
Yeah.
Like it's one of the best, maybe the best that I've ever had as a smoked fish. As fillets and eating it, it's good, but it's not great. It's not walleye, pike, perch. And that,
perch, comparatively speaking, seems to be the value.
Yeah,
really.
$28 Canadian.
Still that pike at $17.50 is probably the best.
Yeah, you can't deny that pike. That's the deal.
Anyways, very interesting. And then you throw in there the other portion of the fish consumption is saltwater fish, and a lot of them have gone like through the. I mentioned Chilean sea bass. It's like 50 some odd bucks.
Wow. What about rainbow trout? I know there's definitely a market for rainbow. Is it expensive too, or?
It's funny. I had that price.
Char might be expensive, I would think, but
yeah. You know what? I was surprisingly expensive was I mentioned this on a podcast is striped bass that you can buy freshwater.
Damn good eating, I'll tell you. So I don't know.
They are good eating, but. We're used to just going down and fishing for them and catching them, right? But they were like in that
up there too.
That $28.
Really?
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, $28 a pound, Canadian.
Yeah.
But yeah, halibut is like through the roof. It's crazy.
Again, I think you've told me this, but define a Chilean sea bass to me compared to a striped bass. I thought it was kind of the same fish.
It tastes very similar. The taste is the same. And forever, I was under the misconception that, and this is all marketing, right? That in fact it was related somehow to a sea bass. And for years I thought it was because it says Chilean sea bass. I mean, it's pretty explicit.
Yeah.
It's not, there's nothing that, well, in fact, it's none of those. It's not Chilean and it's not a sea bass.
No way.
So it is a very deep water. This fish lives in 300 plus. It doesn't come up out of 300.
Right.
And it's commercially harvested with very strict limits from what I understand. But it's the Antarctica, like the ocean, the Antarctic Ocean,
right,
is where this thing lives. And very deep, Very little is known about it. And when they first started harvesting these fish, the problem was and I don't remember what the name was, but it was not Chilean sea bass. And so marketing came up with this idea, because sea bass, whether it's European sea bass, North American sea bass, striped bass, like all of these.
Sounds good.
Sounds great. And so they renamed it. They had it actually renamed.
Oh my God.
To Chilean, because at the time, I think we were getting trout, rainbow trout from Chile, if I'm not mistaken, the world. When I say we, the world. And so they thought, you know what? Chilean? They took the best of everything.
Yeah.
Chilean?
Of course.
Sea bass.
Wow.
Put it together.
Brilliant.
And had somebody registered it, like the whether it was the Commercial Harvesting Association, whatever, or the distribution, whoever, actually designated and paid the money to have it registered as a Chilean sea bass. And it is none of the above.
Wow.
It's not Chilean, nor is it sea bass.
Awesome.
But I'll tell you what it is.
It's good, eh?
It is delicious. I'm not suggesting we all run out and buy it, because they're trying to actually get it on the endangered species list.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So there are some issues with it. So before you do run out and buy it, just look into it. And if your moral compass is on this side of the ledger, you might opt for things like striped bass, which has a very similar profile taste. It's not as big and flaky. Like what's great about this Chilean sea bass, it's almost like halibut. In terms, it's thick fillets, and white, and it just cooks so well.
Firm, like a firmish.
Oh, it's just everything you can think of. Fish.
Perfect, yeah.
Perfect fish, it is.
Well, you said that one of the perfect fish is halibut right there. That's a
halibut. That's
great,
another one, too. That's gone through the roof. But,
That's
luckily for them, for halibut, there are some commercial operators that are now... I remember when we started in the business, we went down to Nova Scotia at the big research center just outside of Dartmouth. Help me with this. DFO brought us there. St. Andrews, maybe St. Andrews. And at the time, this was 30 years ago, at the time, they were pioneering. It was like cutting edge, technology that was going on in this big government building. They were trying to see if they could start a viable commercial fishery or hatchery fishery for halibut.
For Atlantic halibut, I'm assuming, right?
Well, these were... The strain that they were using was Pacific.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Excuse me.
Yeah, because they're okay.
And I remember talking to the researchers there, and they were, how's it going? And the operation, I think, was 10 years old at the time, and they, were getting them to spawn in controlled conditions. In other words, in pens, because that was the big difficulty they had at first, is just getting them to reproduce, right? And then they did, and the eggs, came to life, and they started swimming around, and then they were saying, I remember, and then when they were about a month old, they were all dying. And they couldn't, that's where the research was at that point. What's causing, what's happening with them. So anyways, and since then, they have figured it out, because I believe most of the halibut that we're consuming, certainly in this part of the world, is coming from an operation that has pens.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Stuff. So it must have worked, but it was kind of cool being there.
You never heard what that stumbling block was at 1 month, eh?
No.
That'd be interesting to hear that one.
They just couldn't figure. They were so depressed. I remember all of them were.
Because then they finally found out, hey, that's it. And
it's working. Look. They're alive. It's alive. And then every one of them at that stage, at 30 days or whatever it was, just go boop.
Oh, wow. Could you imagine?
I don't know what brought that up. But anyways, halibut. Yeah, halibut is fantastic.
Good eating.
Good eating stuff. This episode is brought to you by Sail. Sail is proudly Canadian and stocked with over 100 Canadian brands you know and love.
From rods and reels to sonars to kayaks and every last lure you've seen on the Fishing Canada show, Sail has all the gear to get you on the water.
Drop into one of 12 stores across Ontario and Quebec and talk to the real fishing specialists, or gear up online anytime at sail.ca.
Sail, the ultimate destination for your outdoor adventures.
This episode is brought to you by Anglers Leaderboard and its Spot Mapper feature. Spot Mapper connects your catch data to your spots, allowing you to view your catch history. With Spot Mapper, your locations stay completely private. Only you can access them, so your favorite spots stay your secret. Learn more at anglersleaderboard.com. Let's move on, because we got things to talk about here.
But we're doing pretty good. I think it's pretty interesting. I don't think we've lost anybody yet, to be honest with you, right? See?
And by the way, if you want to make the absolute
There's
best...
some good eating right there. Them big things right there.
Well, one day you and I are going to sample that.
I'm going to watch you eat all of that.
See, that's narrow-mindedness. If you want the absolute ultimate fish chowder, it's a little expensive. Use 1/3 Chilean sea bass, 1/3 striped bass, and 1/3 halibut.
Oh, my God. I'm already hungry right now. Is it lunch yet, Dean?
It's
about that time.
That combination is just breathtaking.
We could put a clinic on right now if there was 3 bowls in front of us right now, couldn't we? I know we could.
Anyways. Fan question of the week, Mr. Bowman.
Yes, this is submitted by our good friend at Frontier Fishing with Ryan MacD via YouTube.
You know this guy?
We know this guy.
Oh,
He writes in all the time.
We know this guy.
Oh,
Very
that's what
familiar.
I said, is this the guy that we
YouTube,
know?
yes, exactly. And via YouTube. Remember to submit your questions as info@fishingcanada.com or Facebook or Instagram or YouTube. It'd be very great. Thank you. Excuse my cold here. If warm water outflows from nuclear facilities can contribute to the growing grass carp epidemic on the Great Lakes, could these facilities be pushed by environmental and governmental agencies to reduce the disruption of the natural habitats and ecosystems? If these facilities, like the Bruce Nuclear Power Development, that's a story in that one. I'm Michael O'Kelly for the Bruce Nuclear Power Development. It was a union meeting I went to one time, and boy, did he ever lay into everybody. But I won't get into that. Are contributing towards a thriving grass carp population, should they not be held accountable towards reducing these fish populations? Wow.
And it's funny because we just have this
with
subject
Stephen Cook.
with Dr. Cook, yeah. I think it could become a player in the game at some point.
Good luck, Chuck. That's all I can say.
Somehow. I don't know how.
You're going to go after OPG to think about what they're doing. They are producing electricity for everybody around here.
Yes.
And if that is the only detrimental factor of cooling the generators down and letting that water flow back into Lake Ontario cleaner than when it came out, really, that's going to be a hard one to win, I think.
But it would be a good PR move for them to try to put something there to help people net invasive species, right?
That's the way they'd have to do it. They can't. I think they can't really get rid of this warm water outflow. It's like you're exhausted of your car. It's just it's warm and you can't help it, right? So they have to do something else. They'd have to be working with the environment, with the RF in this case, I guess.
Well, I think we talked with Dr. Cook. We talked about maybe the possibilities would be that we target these warm water discharges during the winter period to see if there are grass carp in the area,
it's a
right?
good
because
attracting area.
Chances are real good that they will be attracted to the warm water, just like the common carp is.
Yeah.
Right? So that would be a good place to start, but maybe there might be some collaboration possibilities here, and not only a feel-good project, but one that would be to the detriment of grass carp or any invasive species for that matter.
For sure.
Where there could be pens designed or traps designed that would attract. I don't even know how you do this.
Well, no, you just have live traps, and then you have somebody that, as long as
and then you can release all the other fish, because then you're going to catch salmon, you're going to catch trout, and everything else. But
You
some
got
kind
good
of
oxygen in the
live,
water.
why not? Why couldn't you?
See, and the other problem, let's look at the flip side of this. Oh my God, it's attracting grass carp, which is the bad fish in this. It is crucial for many other fish species to have this. They thrive, they move into these areas, and this is where they now live. You know what I mean? So even rainbow trout will go to these warm water discharges, and they will use that as their feeding areas, right? I mean, so there's so many muskie. We've seen muskie. We've seen every species alive in that Great Lakes. Brown trout out in front of these plants all the time.
God.
They're there because the bait fish are attracted to it, and these game fish are attracted. So it's a fish attracting area. It's actually helping the population of general game fish. So there's pluses and minuses to everything. So,
and at the end of the day, if anybody complains about that or looks at that as a negative, I know I'll get some here. Is it any different than putting out bird feeders in the winter? Some people say that that's cruel and unusual punishment because by conditioning birds to come to these feeders and then not maintaining those feeders, because a lot of people do. A lot of people. Yeah. In all fairness to that comment, there's people who say, "Oh, it'd be great, honey. Let's put the feeder out," and they put it out for a week or two. Yeah. And then all of a sudden they say, "Wait a minute, wait a minute, $14.50?
It's as expensive as pike.
$14.50 for a little bag of seed? Are you out of your mind?" Nah, I think I'll quit. Right. So what happens is the birds get conditioned coming there. Yeah. And then in the dead of winter, if you stop feeding them, they've got nothing to fall back on, right? And they've committed to this feeding.
That's right. So. And the squirrels are the grass carp in that situation. Because the squirrels get in there, everybody hates them.
I was watching one the other morning. This guy was talented, this little gray squirrel. Because I got one of those, the feature on my bird feeder is that it is squirrel, what's the opposite of friendly?
Resistant or deterrent?
It's designed to keep squirrels out of it. Let's put it that way. They
squirrel-proof.
All of the R&D was towards keeping the squirrel away from it. So they've done a really good job. But this one squirrel.
You say he's gray? Is it a gray squirrel?
A little gray squirrel. Yeah. No, I've probably had 100 squirrels attempt it just when I was there watching.
So it's got to be entertaining too. Watching these guys get pissed off.
You could see them thinking. You could see the little bastards thinking. I'm telling you.
I love it. Oh my God.
And this one gray squirrel, after, I don't know, I'm going to say maybe 10, 15 disastrous attempts, he went back up, sat on the fence, and he just stared at it. He just stared at it. And then the little son of a bitch, he made it. He made it just for a split second, enough to know that there's food in there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Enough to get a sense of, yes, this is everything I thought it was. But then he went crashing, burning, and he rolled in the snow, and then off he went. But he was thinking.
You must be having a riot watching this.
Oh, they're great.
Oh, my God.
But anyways, where were we? Fan question of the week?
Well, yeah, fan question. Can the Great Lakes? Yeah, I think we've all come up with this live trapping thing going to be a great idea because it is a fish attracting area. It could be.
Who would object to that?
Well, you've got a lot of the do-gooders, the tree huggers, the blah, blah, blahs that'll have some kind of bullshit input in that, but that's all it is bullshit.
You didn't say that in a negative manner.
No. They have their right to put in their bullshit crap.
It's a bunch of bullshit.
Thank you, Jim. And other than that, I mean, ultimately, we are trying to get rid of or control an invasive species. I think that's the future. We're looking into the future. So
maybe costs might be prohibitive.
Well,
but you could probably do a whole volunteer thing.
There's ways around
I know there's a ton of guys or girls who would love to be, there.
That'd be fun.
Releasing
lifting those traps. That'd be a riot. Yeah,
I'd love.
You know what I mean?
It.
Yeah,
I'm in if you're looking.
Yeah,
for
and I think that would be money well spent by our MNR. Let's be honest. There's some monies throughout our governments that are spent kind of stupidly. This is one is the natural resources that it could be in danger. I think we could spend that money and it would be justified. So.
In the meantime, arm yourself with all of the information about this grass carp that we're talking about, because in order to help eradicate it, you need to know what.
Yeah, you got to know which ones to keep in that net and which ones to throw back, right?
And its habits and all that stuff.
That's true, right?
Where can they get that information?
Invasivecarp.ca. There you go to invasivecarp.ca and take a look at them pictures like that.
All right. Now, on to the subject that brought us here today. So, Dean came out to my office yesterday and said, oh, wow, there's a huge story breaking south of the border. This must have been before he wrote the story on the fish
prices. Yes.
And I said, do tell. And so he said that there was possibilities of a huge scandalous event around a up-and-coming bass fishing series, and that somebody had conned some pretty high-profile anglers into paying for the events and then disappeared. Took all the money. Estimates are, it's called dual threat fishing, by the way, DTF. And estimates of, $700,000 to $1 million was disappeared of the competitors' money.
Jeez.
And
wow,
interesting thing about this is that, normally when you read these, and when I hear of these scams, especially internet and phone scams, I'm thinking, who falls for this stuff?
Right, exactly.
Like, who are these guys kidding? Who is going to ever fall for these scams? This would be a perfect category.
Yeah, right? Yeah, you're right.
Because it seems like most of the guys, some of the names that are on the list of competitors who fell for this, you'd think that they would know better. But then how do you know better?
A couple of them. But then I think they were using that. I think their goal was to trick a few big names, to lure in as many small names who viewed this as like, okay, this is my shot. Because I've been watching people's videos who are pretty new to professional bass fishing and who are struggling to really make it, who viewed this as like, oh my God, like I just got a call. I'm going to be fishing against Scott Martin. And it's, they would offer, like the guy would offer, okay, you don't need to pay entry fees, just show up. And they would make deals like this, which is
to a guy like Scott Martin, is that what you mean?
No, to a lower level guy, just to legitimize, because I think the ultimate goal, and we'll start from the beginning in a minute to explain what was going on.
So maybe do you want to talk about our situation that happened to us, a real life comparable situation involving tournaments, or do you want to wait for that one till the end?
I think we should break down what actually happened so that people know.
All right, go ahead.
So, Pete, were you familiar with this when it first got announced last year? Because I wasn't.
I've only seen a little bit of it this year before this happened. Scott Martin throwing posts out about him and his daughter are going to be fishing a tournament series and blah, blah, blah. So that's basically all I knew about it up until now.
Okay, so I guess it was mostly announced via social media, and it was talked publicly with like professional bass fishermen in the States, but a lot of people were pretty skeptical because the initial posts, so this started around January 2025, so last year around this time, and they were announcing that this is going to take place in 2026.
Okay.
But the initial posts were like, I have some examples here. Like this is what they were looking like clearly AI. Like this one picture behind the guys here, the guy's arm is going through another guy.
Oh yeah.
So they're depicting these like massive tournaments with these big stages and fireworks and all this stuff. They're announcing that they're going to be giving away Bitcoin, which, the range of that, what that's worth obviously changes a lot, but like $70,000, hundreds of thousands of dollars, depending on
$250K plus
a Bitcoin.
Wow.
So and
they're worth like $100,000 a piece or something.
They can be, the value changes like crazy, but, so this is kind of what they were leading with posting, and it was drawing like a lot of kind of ridicule from anglers. But then some anglers were biting on it, being like, okay, finally some people are going to be able to get paid for tournaments now, because they were announcing these massive prizes, these big events. Like they were looking to compete with the big boys, I guess.
Okay. But guys like Scott Martin, and I don't want to be a name dropper here, guys like that are usually pretty skeptical. They've seen 100 of these come up through the years, right? And 100 of them that are legit. But guys like Scott, they kind of look at these and say, yeah, you know what? I can't. It's got no legs. I don't think it's going to make it. I don't think it's going to last. Like they're very skeptical about new tournament organizers coming into the scene.
Right, absolutely.
Because listen, let's be honest about it. Those guys are used to playing with the big boys, meaning the big of the big in terms of tournament organizations.
Yeah.
So when they see these guys come up, they're very skeptical. They're saying, nah.
So would they have? Did they? Does anybody know, Dean? You sounds like you know the most about this. Do you know if they approached Scott in any way to partner up with this to make it popular? Is there a kind of a?
It's coming out now that Scott came out immediately once this scam kind of got revealed, and we'll talk a little bit more about that in a sec. And he said that he had no involvement. He was just a regular guy, regular angler, no involvement in terms of organization.
Right on.
But from what I'm hearing from everybody who's posted is that the real way that this scam happened was that there was a guy reaching out to everyone personally who was like extremely convincing and had a very defined plan, and he was actually like personally calling anglers to get them on board. He just seemed really legit. He was going by the name, I have it written here.
God, if it's the name I've got in my head, I hope not.
No, it was Ethan Phillips is what he was going by at the time.
So he was the face of this upcoming.
But no one had seen him. He was just making phone calls.
He was the name.
He was the name. And he was getting everybody in. And then eventually, I think like probably half a year in, they started gaining some social media traction. But then they picked up Scott Martin. So Scott and Hillary were going to fish the event, which was them departing from, they made it seem like, okay, we're not going to fish MLF. We're not going to fish.
Right. BSS.
See, that's the part that I just have a hard time with.
Yeah.
I have a hard time with that. Now, in all fairness to Scott, and by the way, this is no slight on Scott. We've been involved with the Martin family for years. 40 of our 40 years. So this is not a slight, but I'm trying to do justice to this story. And if I did not know the Martins, in particular Scott, I would be okay with what you just said, but I know Scott is a very astute entrepreneur, and man, I'm having a hard time with. I don't want to say this, but I'm having a real tough time with this. I can't. Scott is not one of those guys that you can buffalo real easy, because throughout his life, Scott has been that.
Sure, people have tried to buffalo. They probably tried to buffalo him their whole lives too.
Yeah, I have a hard time with that, man. And I saw the video that he put out with Hillary, his daughter. I don't know when that was originally put out there, but it sure looked like, if I had seen that, which I did not until this story, but if I had seen that at the very beginning of this, I'd say, oh, well, okay, good for Scott. He's got a piece of the action, or somebody, somebody did the right thing, and that is, employed the services of the right guy to wave the flag, because he is a great ambassador.
That's why I asked that question.
Yeah.
He's the perfect guy to do that.
I would have thought that.
Yeah.
Now, clearly, you're telling me that that's not the case. He volunteered his very valuable social media. He volunteered it to these organizers to promote their event.
Apparently, he decided to go fish them because him and Hillary wanted to fish tournaments together, which I think. So the whole concept here is this is a team event,
right?
Which is different from what the other organizations are offering. So I think that was at least from him, that was the ultimate decision maker. He wanted to fish events with Hillary. This was a professional.
And by him in there and him promoting this, it would, let's say it was all legit. He's probably going to draw in competitors upon competitors and get that prize package higher if that's the way it works.
And that's exactly what started happening. So originally there were entry fees. They were asking for $9,000 from every angler, and that would cover you for this series or whatever. They had 80 anglers or something they were going with. So they were what I started hearing afterwards is that a lot of the anglers who were kind of skeptical. So one, apparently the organizer was very skeptical about people paying with card. They didn't want card payments.
Cash only. Let's do a little cash here, okay?
So that raised some red flags, obviously.
I'm sorry to be laughing at
yeah.
this, but that's a funny point right there.
But so for the people who were adamant about paying with card, the guy just kept delaying it, and eventually he waived entry fees for everybody. But so he already had some money from a lot of people, but then he waived entry fees eventually, and then that got even more people involved in the event, because what the guy was telling people was that I have an investor, a major sponsor, who is paying a lot of money to allow me to pay all of you out. So there's no more entry fees, but we're cutting the field down to, a very elite group of people.
Did he give that cash back to the people that already paid?
I do not think so.
I got a bad feeling about that one.
Yeah. Man. So eventually, what was interesting is at this point, a lot of people are very skeptical. The first event was supposed to be on Okeechobee. And then they were going to go to St. John's River. And this was I think this was late January, early February. Like at the time of this recording, it was just last week.
Right.
The first two events actually happened, which a lot of people were very skeptical they would. Everyone was kind of watching to see if they would happen at all. They did happen. The guy actually showed up, but the guy who showed up to host the event, what a lot of people were reporting was that he looked like he had never been to a fishing event before and had no idea what he was doing at all. There was no branding anywhere. He was not what people thought he was. But the events went off anyways. So they did Okeechobee. People got checks for, $100,000. The winners did. But they were told not to cash them.
Oh, God.
Because the investor had not put the money into an account yet. So just be patient. You will be able to cash them. Just don't try yet. Then the next week, the St. John River happened. There's still people trying to cash checks. They start to bounce. The new winners who they get $100,000 checks. They try to cash their checks. They bounce. Then the website it disappears after the event. So now when you go to their website, it's gone. The social media goes pretty much dead. No one can get a hold of this guy anymore. So the anglers called us the town that the event is supposed to happen the following week,
right?
And asked them what's going on.
One after St. John's.
Yeah,
okay.
And they said, we have never heard of this event. There have been no permits. There is not an event scheduled for next week.
Oh my God.
And that's where we're at now, because we're recording this as this is developing. No one can get a hold of the guy. Here's the picture of him, but people are trying to find him.
Oh, you scammy bastard.
His real name, by the way,
Ethan,
is Tim Lynn.
Tim Lynn.
Yes.
He looks like a Timmy.
How, do we have a number on how many people have been impacted by this?
80 anglers, but I don't know anything about sponsors. I'm sure they did draw on sponsors. Scott and a few of the other anglers are big names, so people are going to come in with money.
Did they ever say how much money he actually got away with after he said no more entry fees? And
they, from what I've read, is between $700,000 and up to $1.5 million.
Oh my God!
Yeah,
which is, I don't want to downplay the importance of that, but to go to this magnitude doesn't seem like a lot of money. Like, this took a major effort to put together and to keep it, undercover for so long. It costs money to reach those 88 competitors and convince them to part with their money. Everything about this is expensive.
He had to have set up a weigh-in and all that kind of stuff.
Well,
too,
there's
right?
that.
They did have a weigh-in.
Yeah, so
he
that
had to
costs
pay
money.
somebody or quasi
signage.
Whatever.
Whatever it is, they.
Now
So
you could have scammed all that too, right? You never know.
True.
So,
wow.
Obviously, he did scam all that.
So
I would think.
Yeah. I think the only thing that we can do here because anything we say or do at this point is going to, and regardless of which side we're looking at here, I think what we need to do to take this to the next level, we need to get some of these people on, like a Scott Martin, for example, to see if he'd be willing to come on and talk to us. Because I said something a few minutes ago, and I probably shouldn't have. I know Scott very well, and he And it just surprises me that they could get a guy like him to buy into this and just wholeheartedly give up his social media, because that's what he did, right?
Damn right he did.
I mean, I
gave
can
up a lot,
guarantee you, if I
obviously.
call Scott up right now, and I know him and I know his father even better, and I say, hey, Scott, I need a hand. I need you to give me your social media for a few days or weeks, because I got to get a message out about, I don't know, selling, this hoodie. I can guarantee you Scott would negotiate with me first and see what's in it for him.
Yeah.
So,
And justifiably so.
and justifiably
of course,
so.
it's his business, right?
And so that's why I don't know. I'm just a little bit. I don't know. This is. I'm uncomfortable even talking about.
See,
it.
the worst thing about this whole thing is scamming in general. As soon as you say the scammer thing, they're the lowest life pieces of shit that have ever existed. It's almost worse than, it's not worse than a murderer, but I'm telling you what, you're a piece of shit worse than a friggin' murderer for duping people that have lots of money like that. Like from the internet scams or the phone call scams you see all the time for these old people getting their Social Security check taken out, whatever. It's horrible.
And the lengths that they'll go to, like this. I mean, this
guy
was a
took
major undertaking.
Over a year, obviously, a 2-year scam or something like that.
So, my own little, not to this extent, although at the time it was bigger than this in my world, but we had a little skirmish with this sort of thing back in 1982, I believe it was.
Holy shit. That's a while back, boy.
Yeah. And I'm going to do some name dropping now because they were all part of it. Bob and Wayne Izumi, Rocky Crawford, Dan Fontana, Colin Stass. It's Jim McLaughlin. It's the who's who of the bedrock of Canadian tournament fishing. These are all these names. Obviously, Reno and Angelo Viola. I don't think you were quite there yet.
Yeah, I
don't think you were quite there. I could be wrong.
I remember the story, but I don't think I was involved. I don't.
So this is pre us establishing a company called Pro Bass, which was not-for-profit tournament angling, Canadian Tournament Angling Association. It was pre those days. In fact, this event I'm about to share with you spurred us on to doing it this way. So prior to that handful of anglers that I just mentioned to you, we do, like buddy tournaments, club tournaments. We'd meet up at a predetermined lake on a predetermined day, and we'd all show up, 30 or 40 of us. We'd throw $100 in the kitty each, and
yeah, no, we never did. I wasn't involved.
Yeah, we'd police it ourselves, and it was we were all friends,
yeah,
right?
That's cool.
And so at the end of the day, we wanted to see who could catch the most fish. We had a primitive weigh-in thing. I think one of the guys
was spring scales.
Well, no, it was a grocery store scale,
Oh, right
but
okay.
the fish is flopping and it's falling off, and anyways, it was a mess. But you know what? Back then, it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And so we did this for a couple of seasons, and then out of nowhere, much like this story, out of nowhere, this guy, his name was Tom Boshiers. I'll never forget
I remember
it.
that name.
He was an American, complete. He had the Western boots that he fished with on his little Ranger bass boat, little 16-foot Ranger. He came up to one of these events that we were having. Unannounced, he shows up and introduces himself.
How the hell did he even hear about that during?
But these guys, but that's the extent that these guys go into, right?
Yeah.
So I'll never forget this. Bait casting was relatively new to us up here. A few of the guys had made the jump and invested in a bait casting rod or reel. But this guy...
Your Zebco 33s and 909
exactly.
push buttons in there.
Exactly. And anyways, this guy shows up with a van and a Ranger boat right off the bat. Ranger boat. I don't think there was a single Ranger in the 30 boats that in our group. Mm-hmm. We all had spin-offs, right? Because Ranger was very expensive, as it is today. But here he is with his beautiful little Ranger boat and a brand new color matched van that
Bobby Dazzler.
Bobby Dazzler, you know, with the alligator skin cowboy boots and like he had everything
those
going.
alligator boots. I love it.
He had everything going. But the best part was and so on the Saturday morning, he was there, introduced himself to the bunch, and he said, "Hey, boys, I heard about you guys, and boy, I'd really like to get involved. And you know, I may have, I'm not promising anything. I may have some sponsors who would like to get involved with you guys." Now, this, I'll tell you how far back this goes. This was pre me getting involved with Shimano.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
So, anyways, he opens the back door of his van, and he's got a collection of Shimano rods and reels that would choke a horse. And he says, "This is the latest in technology." He's got them out and said, "Oh, do you want, here, take one. You want to try it? Take one." He gave us all a rod and reel. And, I mean, never mind what it was worth on the market. To us, it was priceless.
Yeah, of course.
So he handed out 30 or 40 Bantam 150 Shimano.
I remember that reel.
Right?
Yeah.
And said, "Yeah, this is one of the sponsors that I think they might get interested in getting involved with you guys." Okay.
So he's all got your attention right now.
Well,
Everybody's
come on
in the
and
positive.
fish. Well,
Yeah.
you're here. You might as well fish the tournament with us. You know, come on in. You know, and we had beers afterwards, and everything was good. A couple of weeks go by, and this is where he makes his first sting, right? And he says, "Guess what? I talked to some of my people, and they're going to jump on board. So, finish out your year, but for next year, I'm going to lay it all out. We'll come up with the name. But you guys don't have to worry anymore about any of this crap. You just need to enjoy what you love to do, and that is tournament fishing." Of course, we died and gone to heaven. Later on that season, in the fall, he comes up, he rents a big meeting room at a big hotel, and we were all there, and he laid out the story. And the story was pretty simple. He says, "We're going to have 5 events next year. They are, I don't remember the exact value, but let's just say for the sake of arguing, they're $500 an event per team, because they're team events. And what's really cool about this concept is that you're going to qualify to fish the big classic through the 5 events." Oh, wow, that's exciting. This is like professional fishing, man. And yeah, there's going to be some small prizes for each of the 5 events, but really your $500 is going towards the final classic, and it's going to be winner take all, baby. And so he said, and there's going to be thousands of dollars because we're going to open this up. There's going to be a lot of people. And in fact, he did. That part I have to give to him. We went from 30 guys getting together, having, a hobby and a weekend fish together, to I think 100 guys instantly, 100 boat guys instantly. And everybody threw in their, $500 or whatever it was back then. And so he shows up, and he's got the primitive little stage and a little scale, and we're starting to look pretty good. The same thing goes, though. Whatever prize money was supposed to be available for the individual events, that went away right away. And it was some rods and reels, basically. And so we're still cool. We're okay with that. It was exciting. Everything was going great, and everything was gung-ho. And towards the end, I think it was event number 4, he had another big meeting, and he said, "Guys, I know, this is going to be huge, man." So the sponsor says that they've decided that they want to put some more cash into the classic. But the way he wants to do it is dollar for dollar. So we've already got a chunk of money there, obviously. But now they want to up it. They want to go dollar for dollar. So he would like to sell everybody that is going to be this. Now, there's still one event left. So you got guys who are on the edge of qualifying, right?
Right.
So you got everybody's attention, not just the qualifiers. He says, all we got to do is start raising those dollars. And so I'd like to propose that, and he had just finished lavishing us with drinks and food at this hotel conference center. And so we're all feeling pretty good about this. And he made the big hype, great news, there's going to be additional cash. And so all we got to do now is raise the cash. So I want commitments and cash checks from you guys within 24 hours or 30, so whatever that term was, to make this happen. And so his goal was to raise $100,000 or something. I can't remember the numbers, because there was going to be another $100,000, and that money was going to the lucky 25, finalists who make it to the classic. So there was a lot of us doing some upselling for him, right? So anyways, just about everybody bought in. So there was a lump of money there already. He collected this more money because it was going to be doubled by the sponsor. And by the way, we still didn't know who the sponsor was. Just FYI. And so
oh my God,
off he went. We have the final tournament the following week, and now we've established who the finalists are.
Does he come back for every event?
Yep.
So he goes back over the border.
Absolutely.
He's from the US, and you knew he was from the U.S., right?
With his alligator boots.
Yeah. Okay.
And now, we assumed he came from the U.S.
Right.
We don't know that for a fact. He spoke with an accent, and he had cowboy boots on a bass boat, which was totally bizarre at the time. I don't know whether it's normal now.
Yeah.
Right?
All know me now. Uh-huh.
So, final event, and we establish who's in and who's out, and now...
Jesus.
And at the time, the Classic didn't have a home yet, because it was purposely done that way so that nobody could start pre-fishing it and all that.
Right,
so we were good. That announcement was coming at the end of event number 5, and he did. He told us where it was, and it was on Lake Muskoka.
Wow.
And none of us had fished Lake Muskoka.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so it was in 2 weeks on Lake Muskoka, and there was going to be, I think, $300,000 in cash plus boats, because now we said that Ranger was in, and of course Shimano's going to give away this, and oh my God, it was like unbelievable. That's because it was unbelievable, because it wasn't true. So the 25 of us show up, and we're all excited, and we're waiting at the venue. We booked our hotel rooms, which were very expensive, but it was okay because we're in the big league, right? So we got the big rooms, and we paid for them, and then all that stuff. And the pre-fishing was for 2 days prior to the event. So this is like Thursday, we're up there pre-fishing, and Friday we're up pre-fishing, and Friday night we get off the water, and we're starting to say, where's tournament headquarters going to be? Like, there's no like the stage or anything. Like, what's going on? Well, maybe Tom will show up, and then they're going to or they probably want to keep us off balance, and this probably isn't even where the headquarters for the event is going to be, so that we're completely thrown off guard. And this is exciting! Let's grab some beers, guys. We made it to the big leagues, right? And so we're having a great time, and it's Friday night, and there's no tournament organizer, and usually he's there with us, on these events, right?
Yeah.
But that's okay, because we had more beers, and everybody was having this great time, and it was like a wonderful party atmosphere. But we still don't know where exactly the event is going to be held out of. We're assuming that in the morning we're going to wake up and it's all going to be there. Well, we wake up in the morning, and there's no Tom. And
there's no cell phones at this time either, right? There's nothing like that, so you can't call anybody. You can't track anybody. Wow.
One of the guys attempted to make a phone call to Tom, and the line was going fast busy.
Oh God, unhooked.
Can't get a hold of them.
Yeah.
And we thought, well, okay, so obviously this is all part of the deal. You know, let's not be negative. There's a ton of cash there. We just need to wait this thing out. In the meantime, let's just go out and fish, boys. Let's, 25 of us here, 25 boats. Let's go out and have a, good time. And then I'm sure before the end of the day, we'll come back to load our boats and things will be up and running. And so that's what we did. We came back and there was nobody there.
Wow.
And that's the way that ended. That's the way that story ended.
Oh my God.
We spent the next 3 or 4 months trying to unearth this creature called Tom Boshiers, who completely devastated us. And in some cases, from a financial standpoint, it hurt a lot of us.
Yeah.
And then just completely disappeared, never to be heard from again, and sailed off into the sunset with our $300,000 or whatever we had collected.
So if anybody knows Tom Boshiers, as in the Angelo story, please report him
Probably
to.
a fake name too, I bet.
Oh, of course.
It'd be a fake name.
Oh, we hired the Azumis and ourselves and a couple of the other guys. We threw another few $100s into the kitty, and we hired Private Eye.
Oh, wow.
And
couldn't come up with
that
anything.
came up with nothing.
Wow.
Came up with
scamming
zero.
asshole. Another scamming asshole right there.
I wonder if this happens in other sports because I've never heard it. Like,
No.
a fake hockey league pops out and pulls a player from somewhere, or like MMA, some obscure fighter gets called to Japan and it turns out there's no association. Like, you never hear about it.
I think that can't happen today for the mere fact Pete alluded to it earlier, the internet.
With this one, though,
The internet, cell phones, it just can't happen, right? But yet here we are talking about it because it just happened.
Yeah.
with the internet being the focal of it all. I mean, that's
what I'm amazed
hub
about
of it.
because I was actually watching. There were people putting videos out and posting and all this stuff, warning people.
Oh.
Who are saying like, half a year ago, like, do not enter this event. There's something wrong with this thing.
Really, eh?
See, that's the problem right there. I know what happened to us. We were young, foolish kids, very green in life, very green in business, very green in tournament fishing, period. Right? I can understand that happening to us. Today, to a Scott Martin and whoever else, we keep leaning on poor Scott, but I'm sure that there are other people at his level who fell for the scam
There are a
as
few
well.
names, but nothing. He's the biggest.
I was going to say, there might be these newbies that want to get in it, and they're just totally fool like you were back at the time.
I could see it.
Want to get, hey, I'm Scott Martin in there. I ain't going to beat Scott and Hillary because that'd be my highlight of my life. And the tournament,
I can see that.
You know what I mean? So they're sucking into it all, and he's going after that easy picking fruit. You know what I mean? Maybe it's obviously this was calculated very well. You know what I mean?
But the fishing community, it seems like they're more susceptible for some reason to scams like this.
No, you're right. Or we just hear about it because we're in the
Maybe we just
industry.
hear about it, yeah.
We are in that industry.
But he makes a good point. I mean, you don't hear about this in golf. You
No,
don't
you
hear
don't.
about it in baseball. You don't hear about any other activity.
Yeah, it's going to definitely put the warning up for that other new tournament that's talked about, the top 25 of MLF, top 25 of BASS at the end of the year, going for over $1 million. Well, now they better be pretty legit
But
beforehand.
isn't
You know what I mean?
isn't Johnny Morris behind that one?
Yeah, I think.
I think it's
Yeah,
pretty
Johnny
safe
is.
to say if Johnny Morris is behind
if he is behind it, then yeah, for sure.
then it's legit.
And that's what
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
surprised
hoping-
about this one because they had no big, like every series, like the Toyota or whatever,
Right.
you always have a big, legit name attached to something, and this did not have it.
I just told you our story. There was
Exact story. It's
there was
exactly
never a sponsor's name thrown
Tom
out
Boshier.
there. The only thing that we had that was solid was a whole bunch of rods and reels from Shimano. My thinking is they were, they fell off the back of a truck, obviously.
Yeah.
And he used that as collateral.
Of course.
Through the whole scam, he had this trailer load of Shimano rods and reels stashed somewhere that he stole, obviously, and he was using it to buy us.
Yep. For sure.
That was the only thing.
For sure.
And this guy was good. So when he'd come to the events, the 4 events that he came to. When he'd come to those events, you know, he was Bobby Dazzler, and he had all the shit and the glitz and the glamour. He never once pulled a dollar bill out of his pocket to pay for a drink or a meal or whatever. We couldn't throw money at him quick enough to feed him and to house him and to entertain him because he's the guy. So we were all, no, I got this, buddy. You know what I mean?
Wow, really?
He never.
What about that? You said he put a big meal on with drinks and that. Did he have somebody fund that? Or?
Oh, no, there wasn't. We all paid for that.
Oh, okay.
He put on the big dog and pony show.
Okay.
But we had to pay for the meals.
I got you.
Right? Okay, guys, it's $50 a head. We've got some nice roast beef coming.
I thought.
No. And no open bar. We were in the open bar. No. Not a dollar bill. And this came out afterwards. Obviously, this was devastating. We spent a lot of time afterwards deliberating, what just happened to us. And it was afterwards that we came up with the conclusion, this guy never had a dollar bill invested in this. Mm-hmm. Not a dollar.
That's a typical scammer,
right? He stole, for sure, the rods and reels. And, you know, later on, I got involved with Tom Brook, the whole Shimano thing, and, you know, obviously we relayed this to him, and he looked into it to see if he could find where this product came from.
Missing $250 two rods.
Never found out anything about it.
Wow.
This guy totally...
He was good.
So, anyways. So where do we go from here, Dean?
Well, yeah, as we said at the start, this broke like yesterday at the time of this recording. By the time this airs, I'm sure there's going to be lots of information that we didn't cover here. I think we'll probably check back in next time we record and
let's look into it a little bit.
We'll try to get some people on who are a little closer to the story. So,
well, Scott would be great. We can put a call out to Scott. If I was him, I probably would not come on the show, not because of any guilt or anything else, but I don't think he wants to be involved. He's probably running away from this. I would think if I was him, I would, because it's a lot of negative publicity.
He's put out his
right?
kind of his one video, and you never know.
I'll reach out to him and see if
who else there was. Did you say, Dean, there was any other names?
I have other names. Maybe you'd recognize them, Pete. I'll pull some up. Done here. I'm not as involved with that whole scene, but yeah, you might know some of them. But again, a lot of young people who. What's really unfortunate is, you know, these guys are living paycheck to paycheck trying to make entry fees, and they put out a lot of money, and that could end your whole career.
Of course. I even feel sorry. I mean, as popular as this person is, Hillary, she wants to fish some big time events with one of the best anglers in the world, one of the best tournament anglers in the world. And she just got her ass kicked by some asshole like that. Just, you know, what a disappointment in that. And what, you know, I'm sure she's already fished tournaments in her life, maybe some, but this is a great opportunity for her to, you know, to just compete with that and do well and that. And all of a sudden, boom, right in the face. So I don't know. It's scary.
Terrible. And whoever is behind this, well, as if, you know, I'm thinking of him as a person. Whatever scumbag is behind this, I just hope that somehow it all comes tumbling down.
I don't think you can hide these days. I think you're right. The days of being able to just like run across the border and get away is probably over.
That picture you had, Dean, where did that come from? Did they say this is a reliable resource?
So from what I can find, this was from an angler who was weighing in wearing a chest-mounted GoPro. Who went through his footage.
But this was not necessarily the actual...
This was just the guy who showed up at the weigh-in who said he was Ethan Phillips.
Oh, he said he was.
He said, yeah.
But Ethan Phillips, we don't know if Ethan Phillips owned the property, though, the brand.
No, Ethan Phillips was the same person who apparently was making the phone calls to people.
Oh, okay.
So that could be him.
So he got paid, or it could be him.
Yeah.
Right? Wow. Anyways, fascinating story. Let's stay on it. If any of you out there listening or watching this have any additional information that could help us figure this out and maybe even have subsequent episodes dedicated to it, let us know, because I think it's incumbent on all of us that call ourselves anglers and have a love for this game to see if we can like put stuff like this.
Even if you're not a competitive angler, it doesn't matter. It's all about scamming and stealing.
That or it. Stealing is the closing word because we're stealing time here that we don't have. So I got to sign us off, buddy.
Okay.
On behalf of the entire crew.
Oh,
Oh,
one last thing. We just heard the news that Captain Mike Richardson passed away.
Oh.
Captain Mike was a good friend of Angela's of mine. Dean didn't really know him, so he did some past episodes with us. So he was just such a character from West Virginia. He used to come up to Point of Barrel and Georgian Bay all the time. So condolences to his and to the family. I think he was remarried. I didn't meet his new wife. I knew his first wife. Great guy, and it would be totally missed for sure, Captain Mike.
On that note, on behalf of the entire crew, Peter Bowman, Dean Taylor, Angela Viola, signing off. We'll talk to you next time.
This episode of Outdoor Journal Radio has been brought to you in part by the Invasive Species Center, protecting Canada's land and water from invasive species. Freedom Cruise Canada, rent the boat, own the memories. And J&B Cycle & Marine, your home for all things power sports, boats, and equipment.